Rudy. One of my favorite movies of all time. Rudy Reutigger. If you've seen the story, you know how inspiring it is. If you haven't, definitely check it out, whether you're a football fan or not. But I got to see Rudy is coming to my church this weekend, and he wasn't able to be there today, so they did a video interview with him. He's going to be there tomorrow. So if you're in Vegas, come join us tomorrow night, Monday night at 7 p.m. But even in the video interview, I just think he lives an inspiring life and what he accomplished. When someone accomplishes something amazing with huge obstacles, there's always lessons there. And I kid you not, I know the story and I took notes. Angle it right. But anyway, I took notes, and there's a couple of things that I just really wanted to mention that was aha. Even though I've studied him, I know him, I've learned his story. One of the really big bits of wisdom that I picked up from Vince, my pastor, interviewing him was this, is that be careful who you tell your dreams to. Now, we probably heard that before, but he said you got to be bold and tell the leaders, people of position, people who have influence, who aren't going to be a naysayer, who once they hear that goal or that dream, they're going to keep an eye on your actions and see what you're doing. And reflecting on the movie, he walks into Coach Persigian's office. He's not even going to the school yet, and tells him his dream is going to be to play play for Notre Dame, which is huge for a kid who's dyslexic, not smart enough, not talented enough. But what I loved on hearing the insights behind it is how important that was to Rudy. And you got to be careful and not tell the negative people in your life, the naysayers, or the people who are, he talked about people who are playing football beside him and still not believing in the dream that they're going to get there. So you got to be careful of those people who influence. And I know on the surface we might have heard some of this before, but it's really deep. I never realized the power of going to somebody who's a leader saying, this is my goal, and then just letting them watch you make it happen. And it was cool too, hearing, not that it's cool, but hearing that every day he wanted to give up. Every single day when he was going for his dream. And sometimes we think it's easy for those people. They're driven, or they're this, or they're that. So again, number one, tell the people of influence what your dream is. If you're in Stage Time University, post what your big dream is. We're not going to discourage you. This is Stage Time. This is what it's designed for. Designed to be a place where we help you get where you want to go. Get your message to the people who need to hear your message. Not that I'm a person of influence, but you need to say it. You need to say it out loud. You need to get clear about what it is. And so for him to have the guts to go into Era Persigian's office, one of the greatest football coaches of all times, and say, I'm going to play football for you. Like, to have the audacity to even think that, but then to go do it, that's huge. So who do you need to tell? Who of influence, or who at a high position can you say, hey, this is my dream. This is what I'm going to accomplish. Because when you say it out loud, especially to that person of influence, it's got to take a lot of courage. But when you do, shift changes. And they'll keep an eye out. And what Rudy said too is those people will never forget that you had the guts to come up and say that. So it's almost like you register on their Richter scale. But then if they see what you're doing and see you're making it there, they're going to want to guide you because of your boldness. So I just think that's huge. Looking at my notes, what else? I love this, that he didn't make it the dream that he wanted to be the greatest Notre Dame football player. He didn't make it his dream that he wanted to even be a starter. He just wanted to play. He wanted to be part of that team. And what he says, which is brilliant, he said, I wanted to be someone who contributed to something good. Who contributed. So everyone along the way, our little story or our life story is part of someone else's maybe little story, or part of a bigger dream or a bigger goal. That's why I love this challenge, because I see some of the people out there doing it who are inspiring other people that I'll never touch. I'm glad to be a little part of their dream and their mission, but I also want everyone to think bigger as well. So being a contributor to something good. Everybody who's doing this challenge, any member of Stage Time who's out there telling their story and helping people. Our goal is to bring some hope to the world, give some inspiration to the world, and that's what we need to, and what I want to inspire people to do. Tell your dream to the right people, the leaders. Yeah, that was my big one. He also talked about what's the other way. He said that he wanted to give up on his dream every day, and he said that some ways weren't working. Are you, like me, a bull in a china shop trying to make something work that isn't working? Instead, what he said is he didn't give up on his dream, but he maybe was going over in a different direction and said, you know what, I got to try a different direction. What's the other way to get to that same vision, that same dream? And sometimes I'm guilty of this myself, that we work really hard in the wrong direction, but more importantly, we get the evidence that this way isn't working, and then we continue to go that way. Why do we do that? So I hope you give up on maybe some things that weren't working, not the dream, but some ways that weren't working. And I've had to do that recently in my business and try ways that I didn't know if it would work, but I'm really serious about my dream and taking care of my staff and my people and the people in Stage Time. I had to find a new way just to keep business alive and keep growing. So will you tell the leaders, the right leaders, who maybe you're not quite crazy about, maybe a little nervous or scared of doing that? That's okay. Congratulations, you're normal. But true great leaders aren't going to discount it. They may think you're a little crazy, but then you and I have got to have the actions that back it up, that make them take notice that, hey, this person's serious. So who can you tell? Who do you maybe need to get out of that circle of you talking to because they're naysayers? And what can you be the contributor to? So maybe you don't have, to be the world champion of public speaking, but maybe you could help someone else get there, or be a part of someone else's team, or start a movement that's way beyond any speech contest. Join the contest to propel your movement, but win or lose, that you still make your movement go forward, with or without a Toastmasters victory. Maybe in TEDx it takes off. Maybe you learn something in Toastmasters that gets to have your TEDx talk go viral. Maybe it's the other way around, or maybe it's something else. But you and I have this opportunity to influence. And if we care more about our message than the messenger, we've got to be willing to take some risk. Find that other way instead of that way that just doesn't seem to be working. So hope that helps you today. Hope that inspires you. I'd love any comments you'd be willing to put down. Please share it if it makes sense. And Justin Stevens joined me right at the end. Hey, Justin. Hey, keep going, and congratulations for quitting your day job and living your passion. So love to see that. That is inspiring. Live a life worth watching. See you all tomorrow. Thanks for the love.